Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom. I'm a full-time eBay reseller and a stay-at-home dad for my 6 children. My wife is currently doing my end and sell similars out of a box of inventory that's been sitting around not selling for a while, which is fantastic. Gives me an opportunity to do some what solds for today so we can ship stuff before we go do the whatnot auction tonight. Some really fun sales today. Things that have been listed for a long time, things that have been just barely been listed in the last couple of days. And something I wanted to talk about, and I'll get into it in just a minute. I had a really sincere question about free shipping and why I do a lot of free shipping. And it's a comment that I get with some frequency, and there is some method to my madness. So let's get into it. So as it stands right this minute, we have 10 orders for $247. I'm sure that'll change by the morning, but I've got a minute to make the video now, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Got to take the time when I got the time. Rock Revivals. You guys saw me pick these up just the other day for like $350. This name is how you look them up. So Rock Revival, and then this is Michael, but it's spelled really weird. These are women's jeans, and they had some stains on the front, and somebody cut all 4 bottom hems up a couple inches to like make them a boot cut. So these were damaged. I listed them for $39 plus shipping, and they sold in a day and a half. This Rock Revival is a $50 pair of jeans almost always. Buyers all in at $54.77. So if you find fancy pants like this, where they're fancy in the butt, you should definitely look them up. Rock Revival, things from the buckle that would BKEs, stuff like that. Woody's hat. I picked up a Woody and a Buzz doll for like $2.50 a piece, and they were too new to be really worth much, and they were beat up. Like the pull string didn't work on Woody, and one of Buzz's wings was messed up. So, and I didn't realize those things until I got them home. So I was like, well, that kind of sucks. I lost my money on those. And the kids would play with them, but they have so many toys, they would just end up in a mess. So I was like, let me look up. And I was shocked that Woody's hat has 100% sell-through rate. And I sold it for $13.99, free shipping in like 2 days for just the hat. Now this is on the big full-size figure, but they sell. This was a bad plan. I have Pokemon cards. Pocket Monster is what Pokemon stands for. These are all Japanese. And I started these on an auction. There's 28, I think, here. Yeah, 28, because there's one on the back on this side. And I started these on an auction for 99 cents, and they got that bid and nothing else, which surprised me. I didn't expect them to go through the moon, but I expected more than one person to bid and get them to like maybe $5. 28 cards, and they're all Game Freak 1996. So I would have probably been far better off to list them for $5 or $6 and let somebody get them cheap plus shipping, but the buyer's all in at $11 there. These, I picked these up for $3.10. Did not have a great sell-through rate, but these seem to sell in the $30-ish range. So knowing that the sell-through rate was really low, I marked mine at $20, and they sold for a couple of days for $19.99 free shipping. And this is the second free shipping item. So that brings me to the point I wanted to make. So somebody asked, why do you do so much free shipping? And the reality is, so on an item like this, maybe it doesn't make sense. Maybe I should have done $15 plus shipping and then let them be at $21 and I pay $6 to ship these. But these will probably cost me $4 or $5 to ship. And I, as a buyer, would rather do $19.99 free shipping than $14 plus shipping. And I know my wife would as well. And also, and so on those like that, like I just feel like it leaves a better taste in the mouth of the buyer if it's free shipping. I also do free returns, and so it comes back to bite me every once in a while where I do a free shipping thing and the person returns it and I can't withhold the shipping charge if they just returned it because they decided they didn't like it, which is not on me. But basically it's the cost of doing business when you lose money like that. But something like this, allowing eBay to set the shipping price at whatever the rack rate, whatever the retail rate is for shipping, these could cost somebody $11 to ship. And I know that Ground Advantage, I could get these pretty much anywhere in the country for $7 or $8. And so doing free shipping allows me to regulate my shipping costs. Specifically the speakers that we did today, those go cubic because they are under 1 cubic foot. They were 17 by 8 by 10, or under a cubic foot for size, but they were almost 15 pounds. So if I had put in the weight and dimensions and let it go UPS, it would have cost $30 for the buyer to pay shipping for those. But if I put in free shipping and put them at 65 instead of 40, and then the buyer pays the $65 to me, and then I get to ship them however I want, which ended up being Ground Advantage cubic and cost me like $13 as opposed to paying $20 for UPS and the buyer paying $35 for UPS. It just understanding a little bit, and it's all guessing, but kind of understanding how much you expect to pay for shipping allows you to cook it into the price and then not be like, oh man, this is going to California and that the person is having to pay $50 for shipping and they're not even looking at your item anymore. So knowing that I have $3 into those speakers and that they'll sell for $65, then I know that I can reasonably, I can make money at $65 free shipping and can reasonably expect to be able to ship them anywhere for about $20. And this ended up even being cheaper. So it makes sense to me, and it isn't for everybody, but because I've been at it since 2012, I have a better grip of what it takes to ship something, approximately how much it's going to cost. And so I'm not afraid of doing free shipping, and I think it gains you a lot if you're willing to gamble a little bit, to be honest with you, because you don't know I don't know that those weren't going to Alaska, and that would have sucked. Now you can know that they're not going to Alaska because you can delete, like, don't offer this item available for global or Alaska or Hawaii or U.S. territories, that kind of thing. But that's just I get that question a lot. Why would you offer free shipping so much on so many items? Mostly it's because I prefer to shop that way. And I prefer USPS not calculate for my buyers a shipping cost that is not reflective of what it's going to cost me to ship. And I don't mind making a little bit of money on the shipping, but from time to time it gets real out of hand, and especially with UPS, it gets real out of hand, like $60 and it costs me $25. I've seen that, where a label cost me $25 to ship to a customer, and but they paid $60 for shipping. And I'm like, well, no wonder this thing took forever to sell, because it's on calculated shipping and it's cost $35 more than it should to ship. And I know that eBay has the option where you can just offer your shipping rate to your customers, but I don't use that because a lot of my t-shirts I put in at 4 ounces, even though they're 12. And so then that allows the buyer to pay some shipping, but not a lot of shipping. And so if I would have to go then through and enter correct weights for 1,300 items that I have in my store. If I were to say, offer my shipping costs to my customer. The guy that I'm answering this question for, just replied to my reply to his question. So that's going on right this second as I'm recording this. I think that's kind of interesting. Anyway, we're going to get back to what sold, but I'm going to look at his response. Okay, so then this, I paid $3.50 for a bunch of Pearl Snap shirts all at once. I got like 20 of them. And this one is one of them. Robux is an old Sears brand, not really tagged for size anymore. Pretty generic. I don't think I would pick this up, but it was part of that bulk lot. It sold for $12.60 plus shipping, buyers all in at $19. Pretty sure, reasonably certain I got this off of Whatnot, and I wouldn't have paid very much for it. Duke basketball. On a vintage tag, made in the Mexico of U.S. parts. It's not super vintage, and sold for $9 plus shipping on an offer. I think I had it listed for $12.99, and somebody sent me an offer. And on something like this, I'm just super willing to take an offer because there's not a lot of buyers for that. So this little rack I paid $5.50 for. I'm hearing my voice resonate off of those bottles. Too big to do the jug band thing with the mouth of the bottle. Anyway, the wire rack I think is probably like a Hobby Lobby special, something like that. But the bottles themselves had some good comps on this brand, Kaemmer, Kamer. And there was two of them, and it was $5, and these had sold for like $15 plus shipping. There were a couple of sold comps with these that way. So I bought it, and I decided to just leave the wire basket with them, because what am I going to do with the wire basket? And maybe it appeals to somebody. They sold for $26.10. I had to have been on an offer. Plus shipping, buyers all in at $42. I bought a bunch of pins off of Harry Tornado and Whatnot. These were two of them. I have like 5 lots of this. Actually, I probably have 4 left because these sold. They sold for $5.99 plus shipping, buyers all in at $12.29. And it is like I've got probably 100 different vintage Batman pins, and they're all in small lots like that. Yeah, 1 sold, 4 still available for that. This from that PS2 that I bought the other day, and this Asher tested it, it works. Sold for $15 free shipping. Just throw it in a box, it's easy as it can be. And then the Patagucci that we found, paid $13 for this the other day, 2 days ago. It is wool and cashmere, and I don't like paying $13 and then selling it for $37 free shipping, $37.50. I had it listed for $41, and that $37 offer came in pretty quick, and I probably could have held out for all the money that I was asking, but I would rather take the guaranteed $37.50, and they paid right away. So $37.50 out of my $13 feels like a lot to pay for a used shirt, but it is cashmere Patagonia. So, and there were a couple listed. There wasn't any listed in that size, so I had a good idea of what it would sell for. So going in 13, it'll cost me like $6 to ship, and then 40. So I buy it for 13 and sell it for 40, and I essentially exactly double my money, because after fees and such, I'm at 32. Costs me 6 to ship it, which puts me at 36, and then I'm 26, and then I'm 13 into it. So taking 13 out of the 26, and I spent 13 and made 13 in 2 days, a day and a half. It's not terrible. I would rather do better than that, but on something that's going to sell that quick, that's good. That is everything that has sold tonight. You can hear my kids are playing around after supper, but before showers, and it's getting a little loud in here. I have to go run a whatnot auction, so that's everything that we're doing for what's sold right now. And if anything sells in the morning, I'll get that too, and then we'll try and do some thrifting. Maybe I'll go back to my thrift store that I've been dogging on for a couple of videos and see if I can do good there again, because traveling hasn't seemed to do me too well. Maybe I'll go downtown to hit the like mom and pop, like the Restore and the Church Mouse and the little thrift stores down that way. I don't know, we'll do something tomorrow, but there'll be a couple more what solds, things that sold overnight. So I just ran a whatnot auction for 9 minutes, and not even so much as a hey, what's up, not even so much as a just like this person entered the chat and then they're gone, and nothing. So that'll probably be the last time I do whatnot. I've tried it several times. I know that I could be successful on whatnot, but what it takes to be successful on whatnot is doing a bunch of slow shows, dedicating a ton of time on selling inventory that sells significantly below market value, and it's just not worth it. eBay, like, you do the work up front and then it's a little bit hands off. Whatnot is, unless you're standing there selling it, it's not going to sell, and you have to kind of get an audience. You have to go out and get your own audience, essentially. And so it's not worth it. I knew kind of going into it that I would have a rough time getting an audience, and that it's going to take, hours and hours and hours of running shows where nothing happens. And I just decided 9 minutes into this show, that's not for me. I'm not trying to stand here and look at myself. And like, these shirts will sell for $15 a piece on eBay in a couple of days. This is the third week in a row that I've tried to get anybody to buy one of them. And the only people who've bought anything are YouTube subscribers being nice, which I appreciate, but that could happen in my eBay store without standing here trying to placate whatnot. It isn't working, and that's okay, but I'm going to cut my losses on it, and we're going to move on to other things to make money. So I'm just wrapping up the whatnot show. I just ended after 9 minutes because there wasn't anybody there, wasn't any interest, and so I thought I would tell you guys that. All right, so it's the morning. Man, I need a haircut. And I told you we'd be back with some more what solds. The Cobalt drill out of the set we picked up for $50, sold for $25. This is a Grateful Dead 3X shirt. I bought it off of Whatnot for like $4, and I thought I was gonna wear it, but when I got it, I didn't really like it. Just pretty plain Jane. Sold for $15. And then this pillowcase, that's Mr. Dursley, and then there's Harry Potter getting into the flying car. This is a pillowcase that has the fitted sheet and the flat sheet in it. From 2002, we paid $6 for this set, and it sold in a couple of days for $35. And actually, all of that stuff went free shipping today. But we'll make plenty of money on this stuff. It's just a matter of making sure that you're buying low and free shipping on stuff that's really heavy and expensive, or free shipping on stuff that's really light and controllable. Guess where we are? The regular Goodwill that I go to all the time. I've got time to be here and see if I can make some money. So the goal is 15 items at over 100% sell-through rate for good profitability. They have moved a lot of coats. This is an old cassette, like, answering machine, or is it just a recorder? $4. It feels like it's probably still got batteries in it, just from the weight. It expired 2008, which means they're 10 years old at that point. TCM 818. So it's about a 50% sell-through rate, but it's only worth about 10 bucks. The North Face, $18.29. I did not realize that Untuck It made just long sleeve shirts. This is an Aston. It's $5, but the sell-through rate's pretty low. Untuck It is one of those brands that all kinds of people rave about. I haven't found it very many times, and when I do, it just doesn't seem to be worth buying. Super simple Nike hoodie, $12. This vintage Nike tag, 2XL, made in the US, $8.16. That is probably worth getting, but that's literally the only thing. I would be shocked if these are worth anything, but at $3.10, Billy Graham commemorative like pictures, and there's 4. So how many's in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 10. There's 20 of them. Okay, so this probably isn't worth flipping, but I really like the super dramatic font, the panic button for the streets. This is quite something. 1980. So we ended up in there for an hour and is left empty-handed. I found one, maybe. I did see something interesting. I did hear 2 employees talking, and they were talking about the pink tags, and so I don't know exactly what the story is, and I overheard 2 people who aren't in charge of anything talking, so it's, you know, fourth-hand knowledge. She said something like the pink tags are going to be 75% off. So we're not pulling pink tags, which means maybe because yellow was 50% off this week, maybe they're going to add a week to the rotation and start doing 75% for stuff that doesn't sell at the 50%. But if nobody's buying it at 50% off, I'm not trying to buy it to flip it. It's obviously nothing anybody wants. So I don't know that helps me much, but it does kind of speak to the idea that they aren't selling enough, in their opinion. They need to try to get more material to move, which I get, but at, you know, really basic stuff at $14 and $20 is, I don't want to say it's not worth my time. It's been such a good place for years that I'm not ready to give up on it, but I'm not ready to spend a whole bunch of time shopping and finding nothing while they figure it out. So we were in there for an hour, got nothing. I'm gonna run down to the other one where I often find nothing, but when I find stuff, it's like $3 for something that I sell for $80. So we're gonna run down there and see if we can do any good. So far we found for 15 bucks LL Bean women's medium, but that's 80% goose down, which is good. And then these are $1.85 a piece for sealed seasons of 6 feet under. Those are beautiful tables, and there's a pair of them. There's a nice Pink Floyd reprint, $5.44. And then up here somewhere, Live Strong, $5.44. Tap Out, all over print, $5.44. It's not worth buying. 2 in a row, we're leaving completely empty-handed from, we got about a half hour before I gotta go get the kids. Can't wait for yard sale season. All right, so we're gonna hit this Restore, which I almost hate, but it's close, you never know. So we'll see. And here's why I don't come in here. Kings Point, nothing. 8-track players questionable. And it's $100. They used to have a little clothes section right here, but they don't anymore. which means the chances of me finding anything worth getting are greatly diminished. And they do have this like hardware tools section. That could be interesting. Tom Petty's gonna give me a copyright strike for sure. Well, it's much less interesting from this side. A lot of not much. Like this chair has been sawed off the back. $10. I have not been in there in a long time, and it is more sad than the last time I was there. And the Big Lots that used to be right here is now closed. I didn't realize that either. So, 3 strikes, I'm out. Just gonna go home and see if we can get the kids and get some stuff listed.